Concussions don't just happen out here on the field where you see most contact hits. The actual two leading sports for head injury are wrestling and cheerleading. In Central Austin, Kelsey Favila, Time Warner Cable News. The Title V block cramp was already applied for earlier this year, and the clinic is already putting it into use. I'm told that the 1,600 patients that are being seen here will be helped out plenty. At UT Austin, only 3.6% of the professors are African American. With the numbers so small, diversity is something they're trying to improve. While Sergeant Craig Hutchinson's life was cut short, today we learned just how big of an impact he left in his community. The MIN program isn't just offered for children, but also for their caregivers. Delivering a good speech is more than just words on a teleprompter. It involves mechanics to inspire, motivate, and propel a speaker.
Not too bad.
Not too bad today.
Okay.
Concussions are known to happen between the ages of 8 to 20, but really anyone is at risk of having a brain-related injury.
I had a patient once, their dog just jumped up and hit him in the head, and they had a concussion from that. So it can happen in any circumstance, mostly when you hit your head, but even when you don't hit your head.
Before school starts, athletes will take a baseline test to measure their brain health before they have a possible injury.
It's different types of tests that would measure a person's reaction time, how quickly they can answer a question, how quickly they can perform a task, how accurately they can do that, their memory, their concentration. So we test all those things ahead of time so we know what their normal numbers are.
And those numbers are important. Doctors have developed these tests and hope to keep athletes more safe.
There was no baseline, there wasn't a whole lot of things that anybody did back then. So it was, just rest, and I think I was back within 2 weeks.
Many of the athletes who have suffered from concussions go through a series of post-injury symptoms.
And I'm going to shine a light in your eyes.
They have dizziness.
Yep, that's okay.
Difficulty balancing.
Turn that way as far as you can.
And often headaches.
I was a mess for about a month, and then after that it started getting a lot better. That was about 2 years ago, and I actually still have symptoms. So I have a headache every day.
Being aware of where you place your head while exercising will help keep head injuries away, because they don't always take place in the sports that you would assume. Concussions don't just happen out here on the field where you see most contact hits. The actual two leading sports for head injury are wrestling and cheerleading. In Central Austin, Kelsey Favila, Time Warner Cable News. I'm Kelsey Favila with your news in a minute. A Caldwell County judge has released the names of 7 people killed in last week's hot air balloon crash near Lockhart. All 16 people riding the balloon died after it crashed into electrical wires. Soon, Texans without a photo ID will still be able to vote. The state is set to weaken its voter ID laws before the November election. The change comes after the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals ruled the Texas law unconstitutional. The Green Party wants voters to know that there is another option other than Clinton and Trump. The party kicks off its national convention in Houston today and is expected to nominate Jill Stein as their presidential candidate. And Travis County health officers say chronic diseases are to blame for most of the deaths in the county. Cancer, heart disease, strokes, and diabetes accounted for more than half of the deaths in 2013. The identities of 7 of the 16 victims from last week's fatal hot air balloon crash has been released. A Caldwell County judge released the names yesterday. Until now, family and friends were confirming the identities of people who were on board the balloon when authorities say it hit electrical wires before crashing. The Texas Parks and Wildlife Department is encouraging people to hunt a new kind of wildlife. Many parks throughout the state are using Pokemon Go to introduce players to the great outdoors.